All right, back then, because of segregation, everybody lived in your neighborhood. You had doctors, you had lawyers, you had dentists, you had teachers, you had people that worked at Ford, you had people that did day work, you had people that owned businesses, and in all of these, they all had an excellent work ethic. They didn't mind giving you a full day's work for a full day's pay. And we saw that. We saw people going to work on the streetcar, coming home at a designated time. In all of the houses, there was somebody there during the day to be there when the students came home for lunch or when they came home in the evening. I would say that everybody had a church home, and that was important. Uh, our values were similar, and this is something that I have learned since I've been in the Westsiders, because I always thought my parents were the most strict people in the entire world, and I find that the other people in the Westsiders had the same rules that I had. Carl Jung looked around and saw the way people were accomplishing things that he knew. And he got with Jerry Blocker, who was the first black anchor person on a major news channel, and Stephen Clark. And they invited people to come. You paid $100. You were on that first videotape that they had. And that videotape was to make money to publish a book on the history of the West Side. And that was supposed to be all that we were going to do. But we keep finding things to do like this project. 94 came right through the middle of our West Side neighborhood. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that the neighborhood is torn up for several years. Then you can't walk to the store because the highway's going through there. You have to go a roundabout way to get to the street that goes across the highway to get to McGraw or to Warren or to Milford to do your shopping. The businesses were affected by this. The homes were. It was just a terrible thing to happen. You know, like my parents, they were set for life in that house. And they had to go into debt again when at a time when they should have been able to relax and travel and that kind of thing. And then my parents thought they didn't get the money that they should have gotten for their home. My brother bought the house and moved it several blocks away to Hartford. That was a way that he could become a homeowner. He had lived in the Brewster Project, and that's what he did. The house is still where he moved it. It was not brick. He put brick in it and put a beautiful basement in, a fireplace, and it's still there. He's gone, but the house is there. When the students from Sampson came to McMichael, they came in the 9th grade. I went there in the 7th grade. And we met each other. The teachers helped to facilitate that sometimes to help us to get together as friends. And Lois Huntington said, let's have a club. And we got together and decided to name it Rakes and Regina, or Kings and Queens, because we were all in Miss Black's Latin class. When I went to Northwestern High School, the teacher was Straussy Edwards, and she was wonderful, hard taskmaster. And she decided I was a coloratura soprano. And I took lessons from her. And I appeared on the concerts that she had, singing Mozart's Hallelujah. I was on the radio, and I sang for our study hall and, like I said, the concerts. So she was pushing me to take music when I went to college, and she was trying to get me to go to Xavier or Curtis Institute in Philadelphia. But I went to Wayne because I liked it at home, and I took more music, and I majored in applied music, voice as an instrument. My voice teacher took me one day. She said, well, we're going to go to lunch, and she had some friends, and we went to Greenfields, and that was on Woodward, and it was a cafeteria. And when I came home, I told my mother, Dr. Huger took me to lunch. She said, where'd you go? I said, Greenfield. She said, well, they don't serve black people there. So I guess because I was with her, they didn't bother me. They let me eat.